بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
Dear students, today we will go through lecture 6 of organic based industries. The topic of today's discussion is polystyrene, production and application. After polyethylene, polystyrene is probably second most commonly used inexpensive and hard plastic in your daily life. The outside housing of computers you are using now is probably made of polystyrene. Model cars and aeroplanes are made from polystyrene. It is also used for foam packing and insulation, that is known as styrofoam. Clear plastic drinking cups are made of polystyrene. A lot of molded parts inside your car, like the radio knobs, are made of polystyrene. It is also used in toys and housings of things like hair dryers and kitchen appliances. 5 different key concepts will be discussed in today's lecture. These concepts include introduction of polystyrene, history of polystyrene, styrene monomer preparation, polymerization processes involved in polystyrene, and manufacturing methods. Polystyrene is a synthetic aromatic hydrocarbon polymer. It is made from the monomer known as styrene. Polystyrene can be solid or foamed. General purpose polystyrene is clear, hard and brittle. It is an inexpensive resin and a poor bearer to oxygen and water vapors. It has a relatively low melting point. Polystyrene is one of the most widely used plastics, produced in several million tons per year. Polystyrene is naturally transparent but can be colored with colorants. Uses include protective packings such as CDs, DVD cases, containers, lids, bottles, trays, tumblers, disposable cutlery, and in the making of models. As a thermoplastic polymer, polystyrene is in a solid glassy state at room temperature but flows if heated above about 100 degrees centigrade, which is its glass transition temperature. It becomes rigid again when cooled. This temperature behavior is exploited for fabrication of polystyrene, since it can be cast into molds with fine details. Under American standard testing methods, polystyrene is regarded as non-biodegradable. It is accumulating as a form of litter in the outside environment, particularly along shores and waterways, especially in its foam form. In 1839, Edward Simmon discovered polystyrene by distillation from the resin of sweet gum tree. He named it styrol. He observed that styrol thickens after a few days into a jelly. He presumed it an oxidation reaction. In 1845, John Buddle and August Wilhelm observed same transformation in the absence of oxygen. In 1866, Marcelline correctly identified the process as polymerization. Before 1920, polymers were considered as aggregate of small molecules. This limiting view was challenged by Hermann Staudinger, who was an expert in natural compounds. Staudinger proposed that polymers are macromolecules composed of numerous repeating units. He formulated a structure of polymer based on repeating units as monomers. So, about 80 years after the discovery of styrol, it was found that heating starts a chain reaction that produces macromolecules. This eventually led to the substance receiving its present name, polystyrene. In 1931, commercial manufacturing of polystyrene started. In 1944, styrofoam was patented. Till 1949, pre-expansion of polystyrene beads was invented by incorporating aliphatic hydrocarbons such as pentane. These beads are used as raw material for molding parts or extruding sheets. The molding process was done in 1952. Products were named styropor. The crystal structure of isotactic polystyrene was reported by Giulio Natta. In 1954, expanded polystyrene foams were produced under the trade name Dilite. In 1960, Dart Container, the largest manufacturer of foam cups, shipped their first order. For the manufacturing of polystyrene, monomer preparation is crucial. The bulk of commercial styrene is prepared by Dow process or similar systems, which involves the reaction of benzene and ethylene to give ethyl benzene, its dehydrogenation to produce styrene, and final finishing stage. It is therefore useful to consider this process in each of the three stages. First stage is preparation of ethyl benzene. Ethyl benzene is prepared by reaction of ethylene and benzene in the presence of Friedel-Crafts catalyst such as aluminum chloride at about 95 degrees centigrade. Second stage is dehydrogenation. Styrene is produced from ethyl benzene by a process of dehydrogenation. Third stage is styrene purification. Since the dehydrogenation reaction produces crude styrene, which consists of approximately 31% styrene, 61% ethyl benzene, and about 2% of aromatic hydrocarbons such as benzene and toluene with some tarry matter. Polystyrene is a vinyl polymer. Vinyl is made from ethylene by removing one hydrogen atom and replacing it with any other functionality. In this case, the functionality is phenyl. Structurally, polystyrene is a long hydrocarbon chain with a phenyl group attached to every second carbon atom. Polystyrene is produced from styrene monomer through free radical vinyl polymerization. The conversion of styrene to polystyrene is shown in figure 1. The first two equations illustrate the initiation process and last two equations are examples of chain propagation. Initiator generates radicals that attack alkene group of styrene through least substituted carbon atom so that propagating radical species is generated at most substituted carbon, giving a stable radical product. Each monomer unit adds to the growing chain in a manner that generates most stable radical. Since carbon radicals are stabilized by substituents of many kinds, that's why most addition polymerizations prefer head-to-tail regioselectivity. Since radicals can tolerate many functional groups and solvents, including water, radical polymerizations are widely used in chemical industry. Theoretically, this radical polymerization may propagate unchecked, producing few extremely long polymer chains. But in actual, a large number of moderate sized chains are formed, indicating that chain terminating reactions are taking place. The most common termination processes are radical combination and disproportionation. Radical combination is a reaction which occurs between two radicals having short lifetime to diffuse through solution, so they react with each other. Disproportionation is a reaction in which a substance is simultaneously oxidized and reduced, giving two different products. These reactions are illustrated in figure 2 at the bottom of the slide. The growing polymer chains are colored blue and red, and the hydrogen atom transferred in disproportionation is colored green. Note that in both type of terminations, two reactive radical sites are removed simultaneously, being converted into stable products. Since the concentration of radical species in a polymerization reaction is very small relative to other reactants, for example monomers, solvents, terminated chains, the rate at which these radical termination reaction occur is very small, and most growing chains achieve moderate length before termination. Polystyrene can be produced by four different polymerization techniques: bulk or mass process, solution or modified bulk process, suspension process, or emulsion process. In bulk process, no solvent is used. In this process, monomer is heated and polymerized. In solution or modified bulk polymerization, as name shows, a solution is prepared. The monomer is dissolved in a small amount of solvent such as ethyl benzene to carry out polymerization process. In suspension polymerization, reaction takes place by suspending monomer in a water phase. A suspension is a heterogeneous mixture in which solute particles do not dissolve but get suspended throughout the bulk of solvent, left floating around freely in the medium. In emulsion polymerization, two different solvents are used to prepare emulsion. An emulsion is a mixture of two or more liquids that are normally immiscible, unmixable, or unblendable. Emulsions are part of a more general class of two-phase system called colloids. The bulk and solution process are homogeneous. taking place in one phase, whereas suspension and emulsion polymerization process are heterogeneous, taking place in more than one phase. The bulk process is most widely used process for polystyrene today. The suspension process is also common, especially in the production of expandable beads. Use of emulsion process for producing styrene has decreased significantly since the mid 1940s. Bulk or mass polymerization is simple technique that gives a polymer of high clarity and good electrical insulation. Styrene is polymerized by heating in a pre-polymerization kettle at 80 degrees centigrade for 2 days until 33 to 35% conversion into polymer is reached. The monomer mixture is run into a tower about 25-meter high. The tower is fitted with heating and cooling jackets and internally with a number of heating and cooling coils. The top of the tower is maintained at a temperature of 110 degrees centigrade. The high bottom temperature not only ensures a high conversion but boils off the residue styrene from the polymer. The base of the tower hops the extruder from which the melt emerges as filaments which are cooled, disintegrated and packed. In solution polymerization, styrene and solvent are blended together and pumped through number of reactors. At temperature of 225 degrees centigrade, the solvent and polymer is fed into extruder unit, extruded as filaments, granulated and stored. Residual monomer and some very low molecular weight polymers are removed. Suspension polymerization. In this polymerization, monomer is suspended in droplets. The reaction is initiated using initiators such as benzyl peroxide. Suspension agents such as polyvinyl acetate, talc, are added to prevent cohering. Particle size depends on quality suspension agents and speed of agitation. After polymerization, unreacted monomer is distilled and polymer is washed and dried. For the manufacturing of polystyrene, two different types of processes are used, which are batch process and continuous process. A batch process is a process in which product is delivered in discrete amounts rather than continuously, whereas a continuous process is a flow production process which manufactures products without interruption and not in groups. In the next slides, we will see detail of both these processes for the manufacturing of polystyrene. Batch process. Various grades of polystyrene can be produced by a variety of batch processes. Batch process generally have a high conversion efficiency, leaving only small amount of unreacted styrene. A typical plant will have multiple process trains, each usually capable of producing a variety of grades of polystyrene. Figure in slide is a schematic representation of polystyrene batch bulk polymerization process, and numbered steps refer to that figure. Pure styrene monomer is pumped from storage, which is unit number 1, to feed dissolver, which is unit number 2. From the feed dissolver, the mixture usually is fed to an agitated tank, which is unit number 3. Here melt is agitated for 4 to 8 hours. It is a pre-polymerization reactor for mixing the reactants. Small amount of mineral oil as lubricant and plasticizer. The dimer of alpha methyl styrene as polymerization regulator, and an antioxidant are added. The blended or partially polymerized feed is then pumped into a batch reactor, which is unit number 4. During the reactor filling process, some styrene vaporizes and is vented through an overflow vent drum, which is unit number 5. When reactor is charged, the vent and reactor are closed. The mixture in the reactor is heated up to reaction temperature to initiate polymerization. The reaction may also be begun by introducing a free radical initiator into the feed dissolver along with other reactants. Feed dissolver is unit number 2. After polymerization is complete, the polymer melt containing some unreacted styrene monomer, ethyl benzene, and low molecular weight polymers is pumped to a vacuum devolatilizer, which is unit number 6. Here the residual styrene monomer, ethyl benzene, and low molecular weight polymers are removed, condensed through unit number 7, and passed through a devolatilizer condensate tank, which is unit number 9, sent to byproduct recovery unit. Overhead vapors from the condenser are usually exhausted through a vacuum system, which is unit number 8. Molten polystyrene from the bottom of devolatilizer, which may be heated to 250 or 280 degrees centigrade, is extruded through unit number 10, which contains a stranding die plate, a plate with numerous holes to form strands, is then immersed in a cold water bath. The cooled strands are pelletized through unit number 10 and sent to product storage, which is unit number 11. Continuous process. As with the batch process, various continuous steps are used to make a variety of grades of polystyrene. In continuous processes, the chemical reaction does not approach to completion as efficiently as in batch process. As a result, a lower percentage of styrene is converted to polystyrene, and larger amount of unreacted styrene may be emitted from continuous process sources. A typical plant may contain more than one process line producing either same or different grades of polymer. A typical bulk continuous process is represented in figure on the slide. Styrene, mineral oil, and small amount of recycled polystyrene antioxidants and other additives are charged from the storage, which is unit number 1, into feed dissolver mixer, which is unit number 2. All these ingredients are added in proportion that vary according to the grade of resin to be produced. Blended feed is pumped continuously to reactor system, which is unit number 3, where it is thermally polymerized to polystyrene. A process line usually employs more than one reactor in series. Some polymerization occurs in the initial reactor, often referred as pre-polymerizer. Polymerization to successively higher levels occur in subsequent reactors. These reactors are attached in series are either stirred autoclaves or tower reactors. The polymer melt, which contains unreacted styrene monomer, ethyl benzene and low molecular weight polymers, is pumped to a vacuum devolatilizer, which is unit number 4. Here, most of the monomer, ethyl benzene and low molecular weight polymers are removed, condensed through unit number 5 and sent to styrene recovery unit, which are unit number 8 and 9. Non-condensable overhead vapors from the condenser typically are exhausted through a vacuum pump, which is unit number 10. Molten polystyrene from the bottom of devolatilizer is pumped to an extruder, which is unit number 6, through a stranding die plate into cold water bath. The solidified strands are then pelletized in unit number 6 and sent to storage, which is unit number 7. In styrene recovery unit, the crude styrene monomer recovered from condenser, unit number 5, is purified in a distillation column, unit number 8. The styrene overhead from tower is condensed in unit number 9 and returned to the feed dissolver mixer. Non-condensables are vented through a vacuum system, unit number 11. Column bottoms containing low molecular weight polymers are used sometimes as a fuel supplement. In chemical terms, polystyrene is a long chain hydrocarbon wherein alternating carbon centers are attached to phenyl groups, a derivative of benzene. Polystyrene's chemical formula is C8H8. It contains chemical elements carbon and hydrogen. The material properties are determined by short-range van der Waals attractions between polymeric chains. Since the molecules consist of thousands of atoms, the cumulative attractive forces between molecules is large. When heated or deformed at a rapid rate due to a combination of viscoelastic and thermal insulation properties, the chains are able to take on a higher degree of conformation and slide past each other. The intermolecular weakness versus the high intramolecular strength due to hydrocarbon backbone confers flexibility and elasticity. The ability of the system to be readily deformed above its glass transition temperature allows polystyrene and thermoplastic polymers in general to be readily softened and molded upon heating. Extruded polystyrene is about as strong as an unalloyed aluminum but much more flexible and much less dense. Density of polystyrene is 1.05 gram per cubic centimeter, whereas density of aluminum is 2.7 gram per cubic centimeter. Polystyrene results when styrene monomers interconnect or polymerize. In the polymerization, carbon-carbon pi bond of vinyl group is broken and a new carbon-carbon sigma bond is formed, attaching to the carbon of another styrene monomer to form a chain. The newly formed sigma bond is stronger than the pi bond that was broken. Thus, it is difficult to depolymerize polystyrene. About a few thousand monomers typically comprise a chain of polystyrene, giving a molecular weight of 100,000 to 400,000 gram per mole. Each carbon of the backbone has tetrahedral geometry, and thus carbon that have a phenyl group benzene ring attached are stereogenic. If the backbone were to be laid as a flat elongated zigzag chain, each phenyl group would be titled forward or backward compared to the plane of the chain. The relative stereochemical relationship of consecutive phenyl groups determine the tacticity, which has an effect on various physical properties of the material.